Gaza health officials say almost 90 Palestinians have been killed and more than 400 injured by Israeli gunfire and aerial attacks during the past day. They are also reporting 7 more deaths from malnutrition. Those new details come as fresh attempts are being made to breach Israel's naval blockade of Gaza.
The story here is how people are being deliberately deprived of the very basic means to survive. And the story here is how the world can be silent and how those in power, those who are supposed to represent us, are in every possible way betraying and failing Palestinians.
A yacht carrying activists and a small cargo of aid is now on its way to Gaza from Spain. More boats will reportedly join it from Tunisia, Greece, and other Mediterranean ports. Greta Thunberg, as you just saw on that clip, was on board another aid yacht and was raided and seized by Israeli forces in May. She was subsequently deported. For more on the humanitarian situation on the ground in Gaza, let's turn now to Tess Ingram. She is the communications manager for UNICEF in the Middle East. Tess, thank you so much for making time for us.
Thanks for having me.
Tess, I understand we're reaching you in Gaza. Where are you today?
I'm in Gaza City, in the north of the Gaza Strip, and of course we know that this city houses close to 1 million people, half of the population of the Gaza Strip. It's under threat of an intensive military offensive, and you know, as you talk to people here, they think it's already beginning. Strikes have intensified on the east of the city. There's lots of people moving west to try and get away from that, and of course people increasingly looking to move south, but if there's nowhere safe to go for people in Gaza.
Talk to me, because on Friday we got the announcement from the IDF and the Israeli government that they're going to now start pushing ahead into Gaza City. They had been warning the population, as you mentioned, get out, although as you've rightly acknowledged, go to where? It's very difficult for people to move. So how has the situation changed in the past 48 hours with this increased military presence of the Israelis?
We've seen increasing strikes on the city, particularly in the eastern side of the city. That seems to be the direction that the fighting is increasingly coming from. As I said, people are moving out of there towards the west. Here where I am, we're seeing growing numbers of displaced people setting up tents and makeshift shelters on the beach. I've been to hospitals here that are receiving an increasing number of children with traumatic conflict injuries, like explosive injuries, broken bones, burns. So it really is escalating. And I think it's important that we don't forget that just over a week ago, a group of international experts confirmed that a famine is occurring here. So not only do we have this intensifying military operation, but it is in a place where there is a famine, where children are starving to death, and where parents are really struggling to find enough food to prevent that from happening.
And how is all of this impacting your operations? How are you able to conduct your work?
We're staying and delivering here. Fortunately, we have managed to get supplies up in recent days up to Gaza City, including nutrition treatments for those malnourished children, so that we can continue to provide the help that they so desperately need. But of course, we know that not enough aid has come into the Gaza Strip at all over the course of this conflict. So we really need to continue international pressure to open all of the crossings and flood the Gaza Strip with aid so that we can get on top of this famine and stop it from spreading, and ensure that people here in Gaza City, whether they move or whether they stay, have access to the aid and the services that they need.
In terms of people being forced to leave Gaza City, what are the realistic options for them at this point?
People are out of options. For example, one of my colleagues, he's already been displaced 14 times with his family over the course of the last 22 months. 14 times. And people really have, left possessions behind every time they've moved. So they're moving with fewer and fewer things. People really don't have a safe place to go. People are being encouraged to move south. But as we know, that the areas that are not under evacuation orders or are considered military zones are shrinking. It's only about 15% of the Gaza Strip now that people can move to, and it's already incredibly crowded, and it lacks the services and the aid that people need. So we worry that if hundreds of thousands more people move there, it's going to become increasingly difficult for people to survive.
As you know, Tess, international journalists are not permitted to come in. It's very difficult for us to know what's happening on the ground. We rely so heavily on organizations and people such as yourself to get the story. So take me to the people that you're meeting, the stories that you're hearing from these individuals. What are they telling you?
I think desperation and exhaustion are the best words that I can use to describe where people are at the moment, particularly here in Gaza City. I've spent a lot of time over the last 10 days in hospitals and at UNICEF-supported nutrition points where parents really are just despairing at their lack of options. For example, I met one mother who's got a 9-year-old girl with malnutrition, severe acute malnutrition that is life-threatening for the second time in this conflict. She recovered and has deteriorated again just because of the lack of food. And this mother has already lost her 2-year-old daughter to starvation and now risks losing a second child. And then there are parents desperate to prevent that from happening to them and their kids, crowding nutrition centres, asking for support. And UNICEF is there providing what we can. But like I said, we just need to get more aid in because, of course, this is man-made. It's preventable. This is not because of a cyclone or a hurricane. This is just because we cannot get enough aid into the Gaza Strip.
I spoke earlier today with Cindy McCain from the World Food Program. She was able to meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. She said that there is acknowledgement now that there is a lack of food in Gaza. Do you think that meeting will make any difference?
It's yet to make a meaningful difference on the ground for the people that matter. And that's those parents and the children that I'm talking about. People here are telling me that they're getting one meal a day from a community kitchen, and that meal is often for the entire family. It's a bowl of rice or lentils to share among 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Parents are often skipping eating anything so that their children can eat, and yet the children are still presenting as malnourished because rice alone is not enough for a growing body. So we really do need to see the volume of aid increase and quickly because, of course, we are now in a famine here in Gaza City and there's a strong risk that it's going to spread and move to the rest of the Gaza Strip.
Tess Ingram in Gaza City, thank you so much for your time today.